Good morning. Welcome back to the Red Mic. Happy Friday. Hashtag Fun Friday. Today's Red Mic message. Everybody sounds smarter in a gold jacket. I've been reading the last several days the quotes that came out of the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton from last weekend. And I noticed something. Apparently, if you're good enough at football for long enough, eventually somebody puts you in a mustard colored blazer and you turn into Marcus Aurelius. Think about it. These men spend their careers becoming larger than life. I'm going to talk about the ones from last weekend and one from a couple of years ago because, well, one of his quotes actually inspired today's hashtag Fun Friday Red Mic message. I'm going to start with the ones from this year. Drew Brees, Roger Craig, Luke Kuechly, Adam Vinatieri, Larry Fitzgerald, and the one from a couple of years ago, Jimmy Johnson. Now, these are names that NFL fans know. And we remember championships, records, impossible catches, game-winning kicks, and careers that made them legends. Then somebody puts the gold jacket on them, stands them behind a microphone, and gives them the opportunity to talk about their greatness. And something funny happens. Mostly, they don't. Drew Brees, for example, talked about the people who make up the golden threads of that jacket. The history of the game, the people who came before him, and most importantly, the people who traveled the journey with him. Roger Craig talked about spending your whole life trying to prove you belong, only to someday be told you're one of the all-time greats. Luke Kuechly talked about the people he met, the experiences they shared, and the joy football gave him. Adam Vinatieri talked about greatness being built on empty practice fields through sacrifice when nobody's watching. I like that one a lot. Larry Fitzgerald, though, said something that I just loved. Don't pursue excellence for yourself. Help other people pursue it too. And Jimmy Johnson talked about treating people not simply as they are, but as what they could become. That is a coach right there. Put it all together, it's a pretty remarkable collection of wisdom from a bunch of guys primarily famous for throwing, catching, kicking, tackling, all of it around an oddly shaped ball. But almost none of it's really about football. They talk about sacrifice. They talked about doubt. They talked about relationships, gratitude, believing in people, becoming better. They talked about the people who helped get them there. And I think that's probably what happens when you finally climb the mountain. Everybody else is looking at the trophy. You're looking back down the mountain at the people who climbed it with you. We look at Hall of Famers and we see championships. They remember practices. We see records. They remember failures. We see the Sunday afternoon when they made the play that everybody talks about. They remember the Tuesday morning after the game when they were still hurting from that game and nobody was watching them then. We see the gold jacket. They see all the people whose fingerprints are on it. And there is a leadership lesson in that on this hashtag Fun Friday. Most of us aren't going to Canton to be enshrined. Heck, most of us aren't even going to go visit. I plan on it next summer. That's the goal. Nobody is measuring me, nor will they ever measure me for a gold jacket, unless, the Pro Football Hall of Fame establishes a special category for mediocre athletes with a whole lot of heart. I'm probably out of luck. But all of us can build something, a career, a business, a team, a family, a reputation. And the things that ultimately matter aren't very different from what those Hall of Famers talked about when they finally got their moment behind that microphone. Do the work when nobody's watching. Believe in people before they've completely learned to believe in themselves. Pursue excellence, but bring someone with you. Remember the people who helped you. And don't mistake recognition for accomplishment. Because someday, if you're fortunate, you may reach whatever your version of Canton happens to be. There probably won't be a bronze bust. There definitely won't be a gold jacket. But you may get a moment when you can look back at what you've built and the people who helped you build it. And when that happens, I suspect you'll discover exactly what these Hall of Famers did. The accomplishment won't be the most important part. The people and the relationships you developed along the way will be. That's today's Red Mic message. I hope you're able to put some of these things in place in your own life. I appreciate you being here. I hope you go out and have a great weekend. Go do something fun if you can. I love you guys. I'll see you next time. And until then, don't forget, life is short. Drink the bourbon.